there, bud. Is that a camera right there?
Today we are going to be looking at the 5 weirdest behaviors in the police interrogation room when the police leave the room. Police interrogation rooms are always recorded. Some suspects know this, others don't. Those who don't often show their hand the moment the detectives leave or enter the room, as is with the case of Dawson McGee, who only acted crazy when detectives were physically present. We saw something similar with the Chris Watts case, in which this murderer adamantly denied having to do anything with the death of his wife and children until he was left alone in a recorded room with his father. Suspects who do know that they're being watched tend to fall into one of 2 categories. Those who play it safe by minimizing all actions while the detectives are not present, and those who put on an act for the camera. In the latter category is our first in this top 5 list, William Klaus. William Klaus was left at home with his 2-month-old son while his wife worked. He was having a great time playing video games and watching TV, but his good times were gradually dampened by the crying of his 2-month-old son, Gabriel. When Gabriel vomited, that was the final straw, and Klaus, in a bout of frustration, picked up Gabriel, shook him, strangled him, and dropped him to where the baby sustained multiple skull, rib, and arm fractures, as well as a torn liver. Klaus called the police, claiming that he had discovered Gabriel not breathing, initially thinking Gabriel was just sleeping. During the call, Klaus's wife showed up, roughly at the same time as the paramedics arrived. The wife and the paramedics took Gabriel to the hospital, where, unbeknownst to Klaus, Gabriel would be pronounced dead. Klaus then went to the police to tell one of the multiple versions of his side of the story, which ranged from his dogs tripping him while he was carrying Gabriel down the stairs, to blaming his other son, a 9-year-old autistic child. In any case, Klaus's game plan was to seem as remorseful as possible, but he neglected to take the acting classes that would have allowed him to pull it off.
Have a seat in the blue chair.
Okay. Can I have more water?
Yeah.
That was all I brought with me. Okay. Let's just some water. Come on. You have to do this for your son. You have to do this for your son. He deserves you. You man up.
Steven?
Yes, sir?
I appreciate you coming down here.
I have to. I have to.
So here's the thing, okay?
Yes, sir?
We've talked before, right?
Yes.
Do you mind if I take my mask off?
Yeah, you're fine.
Thank you so much.
You're just fine. I'm sorry I didn't hear one. I just wasn't thinking about it.
Well, that's the way my job goes.
Kind of last thing on my mind.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. How long do you think you shook him?
A few seconds. It wasn't long.
Okay.
It wasn't long. It wasn't. I'm so sorry, Gabriel.
Okay. William, I need to review a couple things in the file, okay? Just sit tight. Just drink some water and breathe, okay? We'll be right back in.
Oh, God, help me. Oh, my baby, it's my fault. Oh, Gabriel.
take note of Klaus's natural reaction to reach for the bottle of water as if he were taking a sip of a drink between rounds of his video games. Klaus remembers he's supposed to be in mourning and so immediately pulls his arm back. Yeah, a sip of water would be nice now, but I've got to put on an act for the camera. Klaus was sentenced to 15 years to life. Some suspects who know they're being watched want to let the police know of their knowledge. They want to make it clear that they are smarter than the detectives, the police force, the whole system. This brings us to the next on our list, Russell Jones, who conspired with his friend, Ellen Fryer, to kill her father. When talking to the police, Jones seems rather normal.
Why do they pay you? Why does DHS pay you if you're an adult now?
I call it cost of living, but it's for like last minute bills or whatever at the end of the month. I had one before I left for Arkansas, and interesting enough, I started talking to my mom during Christmas. That was a great present. I found my mom at Christmas.
Cool. Where's she at? Is she in Medford?
Arkansas.
Oh, she's okay. That's right.
But when the detectives leave the room, Jones becomes the edgiest edgelord to have ever entered a police interrogation room.
You do know I know you're listening, right? So listen here. Ellie Fryer is my client, my protectee. Let's make a deal. Do. How's this? 1, thanks for the food. 2, I see Ellie and Gavin because they are both under my protection. 3, before you release Ellie to her parents, or parent, but if you're one of those two-timing, donut-eating piece of crap that don't like rules, that think they are a high school bully with a badge, I'm sorry, buddy, but I eat high school bullies for breakfast.
He reveals how small his mental world is in his threats with the inclusion of the use of phrases commonly seen in Saturday morning cartoons, but would never be otherwise used in real life. There are a lot of nuggets in this interview, but my personal favorite quote is, "Unleash my bipolar."
So, we can do this the nice way and we negotiate, or we can do it the hard way and I can release my bipolar.
Which is essentially meaningless. Does Jones even know what bipolar means? Is he threatening to be elated one minute and depressed the next? Also, if he can unleash his bipolar, he can supposedly control his bipolar, which means he's not really bipolar. Never mind. There's no point in analyzing someone who cannot even express himself properly. But hey, here's his partner in crime, Ellen Fryer, showing that she doesn't know that police interrogation rooms are recorded. Samantha Wolford is another interesting suspect to look at. I take that back. Interesting and Samantha Wolford don't ever belong in the same paragraph together. This wannabe drama YouTuber spun her wheels at content creation day in and day out, never gaining any traction because, well, she's just boring.
Hey guys, I found a link, zombie attack, and I've been telling everybody the zombie apocalypse was coming, and I'm like freakish about that. I like stockpile crap.
She doesn't have any unique thoughts or interesting critiques. Her personality is dry, yet comes with an inflated ego. Her attempts to be quirky always come off as cringe. You'd think a woman with 5 children would make a reasonable decision to get a job that brings in some financial support. Instead, Samantha pretended to be a YouTuber while her husband supported a family of 7. In the meantime, she would complain to anyone who would listen that her husband was good for nothing, especially angry that he was not giving her enough attention after he got home from work. Sometimes he'd even prefer to play video games instead of watch the newest YouTube videos she had made during the day while he was working his ass off. Eventually, Samantha locked her claws into 3 men who believed her lies. She told them that her husband was abusive, and they agreed to murder him for her. Of course, a crime organized by this talentless hack was bound to fail, and while her husband was murdered, all 4 of these criminals ended up in police interrogation rooms. Samantha, confident in her ability to talk herself out of any situation, felt very comfortable in the interrogation room, as evidenced by her naps and quirky behavior. Jodi Arias and Samantha Woolford have a lot in common, but perhaps Jodi is a bit smarter. However, Jodi was not aware that she was being watched at all times in the police interrogation room, as evidenced by her pretending to sleep when she hears someone approaching the door. Jodi is in this room because she killed her ex-lover. This scorned woman went to her ex-lover's house for a romp, as ex-lovers sometimes do. However, Jodi had a hidden motive. Jodi coaxed her lover into posing naked for her while she took pictures. When she asked him to turn around, she attacked him, stabbing him 27 times, slitting his throat, and shooting him in the face with a .25 caliber pistol. Jodi made many mistakes in this crime and, unlike Samantha Woolford, can see the walls closing in. Instead of being naturally comfortable in a police interrogation room, Jodi is highly stressed. She attempts to find ways to comfort herself. Queso, a well-known rapper, has landed himself in a police interrogation room as the result of a murder. Queso, assuming that he's got street smarts that most rappers do, probably knows that this room he's in is being recorded. Or maybe he doesn't. Or maybe he just doesn't care. As far as I can tell, Queso's main concern at this point is practicing the daily word from his word of the day calendar.
Hey, aggravating as hell, man. Shit, you're aggravating. You're aggravating, bro. Hey, hell, bro. Shit, you're aggravating, bro. Hey, so aggravating, bro. This shit so aggravating, dog. This shit aggravating, dog. Damn, this shit aggravating, dog.
This is a top 5 list, and we are on number 6, so what gives? I cannot ethically include this one and use the word criminal in the title. Leo Driver's girlfriend died in 2015. Her death ruled a drug overdose. 5 years later, Leo Driver walks into a police station and confesses to murdering his girlfriend. The police gobble Driver's story up. This is in spite of the police knowing that Driver is a diagnosed schizophrenic, in spite of them knowing that Driver is off his meds, and in spite of none of the evidence pointing to Driver. The medical examiner is even called in to change the cause of death. A creepy mannequin is even brought in so that driver can relive the supposed murder. The whole thing is a clusterfuck. Anyway, here is driver left alone in a police interrogation room that has an echoing recorder. Driver is in psychosis and believes he's hearing voices when he's actually just hearing his own voice echoing. The police don't intervene for a long time either.
Is anybody there? Huh? What? 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 Hello? Hello? What? What do you want? You leave me alone. You leave me alone. I'm tripping. I hate this bullshit! Hey, why don't you go fuck off? You gotta copy me, you punk? No, you're a punk. No, for real, you're a punk. You're a nobody. You gotta copy me. You can't be your own person.
And that was our top 5 weirdest behaviors in an interrogation room when the police leave. All of these moments' full interrogation links can be found in the description below. My name is Damon Verio, and I hope to see you in the next video.